Three Beers podcast, round 2. All right. Hope everybody's having a great evening. We are talking about ghosts. My name is Craig. Along with me is Chris. Austin will be joining us shortly. So ghosts, what is your belief in them? Do you believe they're real? Do you believe it's just made up for money? I mean, myself, I am a firm believer in ghosts. I believe they completely exist. I have no doubt in my mind. How about you?
Yep, I completely believe in them. People die a horrible death or something really bad happens to people. One of my favorite ghosts is the Lighthouse Tower ghost out of St. Augustine, Florida.
Yeah, what you got any details on that? I've never actually heard about that ghost.
Oh yeah, it was a group of 3 girls during the build of the tower, and two of them died. So now they say when ships come in, it happened in July 10th, 1873 during the construction of the tower. And they say when the ships come in, the lighthouse will flicker and they'll see some kind of ghost in there. And it actually was investigated by the paranormal team the paranormal team came out and they heard footsteps, they heard voices, and they actually do tours like 7 days a week there. So that's one of my favorite ghosts. I mean, it haunts the towers. The kids died a tragic death, and I guess her spirit still lives there.
Oh, that's awesome. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's just, so what is your feeling? Because, we kind of teased it, Austin put that up there. I mean, there are those that believe, in that ghosts are not you and I as we pass on, that they are actually more of a evil, menacing, entity that's pretending to be you. And so what we're seeing, what we think is grandma, what we think is, our favorite aunt is actually, a demon or, some evil presence that's actually pretending to kind of work its way into you.
No, I kind of disagree with that. I mean, Granny wouldn't hurt you if she comes to you and you smell her cologne, her sweet perfume, or you smell her cherry pie, for instance. The demon wouldn't have time to do all that to mimic you, I think. I mean, certain spirits show you that they're there, which are also ghosts. They'll show you, hey, the door might open. Granny's favorite pot might move or something. You're like, oh, wow, okay. And I think these signs are from the underworld just telling you, hey, I'm okay. I mean, we worry about it. No one's ever came back to tell us how it is on the other side. So I think they have powers when they cross over to the other side to basically come into you and say, hey, look, I'm okay. I know you think about me sometime on my birthday. We tend to think about people that we really care about on their birthday. And, the farther their death gets further out, we don't cry as much or we don't be as down as much. But, their birthday draws near or the day they died starts to draw near and you start thinking about them. And then people show you signs and, that, hey, look, I'm here.
Well, it's kind of, I'll play off of that, especially like I said, I'm such a, believer in it. So it's kind of the same way I believe. It's like, do you think that, hey, there's Austin. He's almost here. But do you think that when, say, a loved one passes on, now, do you believe that yourself, do you believe that when you focus on them, you're giving that loved one kind of, energy per se, the ability, to come in, to come forward and talk to you and actually, by the family focusing like on a birthday, on the day of their passing, something that you're with the combined energies of focusing on it. Do you think that's what allows sometimes those loved ones to have the ability to either manifest, you smell the perfume, you smell something, grandma's butter dish suddenly, is rearranged? I mean, do you believe that might be a fact?
Yeah, I believe that's a very, very big factor in it. Everybody's focusing their energy on one thing. I mean, you have maybe 5 or 10 family members focusing their energy. And if she has a lot of grandkids or, he has a lot of if he has a lot of grandchildren, everybody's focusing their energy on there, or like your spouse passes away and you focus energy like I really miss my spouse, or and I just think the ghost is just a sign of saying, hey, look, I'm good, I'm okay, but that's just my theory. I mean, everybody has their own personal beliefs. So,
and welcome Austin to the program from his new Viking lair right there. He'll be getting that all set up. So
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
The funny thing is, this is her mom's room. I can't find my laptop, so I told you I was set up, man. I got her computer set up. I test ran live, and then I went to get food, come back, and I had no power. I was like, wow. So I'm hurrying up everywhere, trying to get extension cords, trying to figure it out. I'm like, dude, we're haunted. Every Wednesday episode, something goes wrong. Chris got lost in the crystals thing. Me and Chris got taken out last week. I had no power right before we started. I'm telling you, man, we're haunted on Wednesdays.
Yeah, hey, so far I'm good.
Yeah, please, man. I got.
No, so it's because like I said, that one you teased, Austin, you teased that thing. It's just and we were talking about that prior to you coming on. It's just where. There are people that they don't believe in it. They think it's actually more somebody that is, that it's somebody that's pretending to be the loved one.
See, when I posted that, I don't know. I thought about it. I was like, yeah, it's true. But I thought about it. I'm like, well, it's just, I don't know. Because why? Why would you want to do that? And like you were talking, I heard about the perfume and stuff. It's. There's no way that demon can, I don't think, can possess that type of perfume or the smell or something. Like with my mom, I told you that story about the ornaments that we heard falling. There's no way that this demon, if it has memory, has my dad's memory of what happened when he was a kid. I don't. Yeah. On a certain sense, I don't think that happens.
But yeah, that goes back to what I was saying. Is you all were all distraught and. Everything gets around the holidays. You're thinking about your loved one. And, hey, what better way to knock an ornament off the tree to let them know, hey, I'm good. I break ornaments still,
Yeah, and that's when he was a kid, too. And my mom knew that when he was a kid, he knocked over the tree. My dad was the rebel of the family, so it was cool, to know that. So I kind of I kept along with that. But, I just I thought about it, and I'm like, maybe in certain sense, but, like, I don't know. I don't think so. Especially when it comes to loved ones, I don't.
So just setting that kind of like spreading those things a little part there. So if we think that okay, it's not somebody pretending. So it sounds like the three of us fur on ghosts, but now, so where do you think? I mean, so if they're interacting us, do you think they're interacting us from heaven, a heaven type area? Do you think there's in some sort of a purgatory? A lot of people look at purgatory as a negative. I think maybe like a purgatory is, I don't know if it's like a waiting queue. I don't know if there's something like there's unresolved things on earth that didn't get handled.
Do you guys remember that show? I was a kid. Oh, no, I'm not going to say I was a kid. I'm still a kid, but
a big kid.
My mom and dad used to watch it. It was called, I think, Ghost Whisperer. And her whole part of the show was about getting them to finish what they needed to do and then sending them off to the light. Honestly, if I know my sister should be getting in, and my mom, I haven't had any interaction. I feel like with my dad in a long time. There's a couple of times where he used to listen to Journey, Foreigner, and when songs come on, I think that's him. But like, it's just I haven't had one since I lived in my old house when he first passed away. So I think he did what he had to do and pass on. I still ask him every day, hey, show me a sign if you're here. But I'm happy if he's happy. If there is a heaven. Or wherever he is at, he's happy with his family. He's with mom and dad. He's with my aunt who passed away a couple of years ago. So he's happy, but like there's times I want to talk to you again, And there's signs. Yeah. Maybe Tara can comment or my mom if she's had anything, recently. But I don't know, and that's what I don't think it'll ever be explained in the near future. If where do they go?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping, I mean, some of these people are, they seem to be making pretty good breakthroughs in trying to figure it out. Because like I said, when we talk about, the term paranormal, that takes over everything, but it's just, whether it's an evil demonic spirit that's throwing that rock, throwing
That's
that room, or if it's actually, somebody that knows you that's trying to get your attention.
Yeah, paranormal gets a bad rep. When you people, not everybody, but some people think ghosts. When you say ghost or paranormal, they think instantly haunted. No, it's good things. Like with my dad, it was good things. He's letting us know he was there. Letting us know, hey, I'm here. I'm trying to help you out. But there is bad ones. I'm not gonna die.
Like for instance, for instance, just talking to me on the phone, not being able to see me. I called Casadega. My podcast brothers know that I'm mixed. I'm black and white. So by you talking to me over the phone, you would never know that, hey, he's mixed. Let me just tell him this. So I called Casadega for a psychic reading over the phone. And the guy, and we talked blase squaze, woo, woo, woo. And he never once says, what's your nationality? What's this? What that? If anything, I sound like a girl on the phone, people say. So anyway, there was no color reference. There was no color reference to that. But when I called, we talked for 15, 20 minutes. He came to me. He says, there's a lady with salt and pepper hair, heavy set. She's black. She wants you to know that she's okay. She wants you to know that she's been watching over you. And I'm saying, okay, cool. So he was like, who might that be? I was like, oh, that sounds like my grandma. And he was like, yeah, he wants you to know that she wants you to know that she's been watching over you and everything is good. And then 10 minutes later, we talked about that a little bit. And, we had a couple interactions. And then 10 minutes later, he says, well, I see this white gentleman that keeps coming to me, gray hair, blase squaze, heavy set, doo-doo-doo. And he's telling me that he passed away before you got home from work, and he wants you to know that he's okay. Blah. And I'm like, no, that's my grandfather and my uncle passed away at my parents' house, in Winter Garden. So basically, that was my grandfather telling me, hey, I'm okay. We never really had much interaction. He was just in his own world, but he actually came and said, hey, look, but this guy had no earthly idea who I was. I just called him. By my name, he couldn't Google. If you Googled me, I look Spanish. I don't look white or black. Yeah. So, there's no way. There's just no explanation for the explanations that he gave me. So I have no choice but to believe that everything is real when it comes to, the paranormal and the spirits and the stuff of that effect.
Yeah, I've always been a believer in that kind of stuff. But that's great. That just the fact that when you were calling, you got that. And I'm not I don't want to diss, tarot card readers because I was younger. A lady was great. She got most of the stuff right so far, about my kids, but she also said, I'm gonna have a career in water. But I think that's just because I love water so much. Maybe she just thought coming into that, but it's just tarot card.
You did before you left, before you came to where we work, where you currently work.
She was.
You're dissing tarot cards.
I'm not dissing them, man. I love them because
that's Miss Cleo's deck right here, by the way.
This was also like 10 years ago, maybe, man. But still, she got most of it right because I was in irrigation for a while. Before I met my girlfriend, I was on path to be either in the U.S. Coast Guard or a marine mechanic. So she almost got it right, but paths change. So
they get vague interactions. They're not gonna. Yeah. It's vague, but you didn't tell her what you wanted to do.
Exactly. I'm not gonna diss her because she did good. But like when we go to Casadega, I don't want to do tarot cards. I want to do sit down and talk to a medium. Actually interact. That'd be more fun.
I'm still trying to bring the Ouija board to Craig's house. Craig told me absolutely not. I'll be on the doorstep.
No, Ouija boards are not allowed in here. No, like with tarot cards, like I said, going in with like communication, typically they're not. It's not so much, like, hey, I'm communicating with somebody that's reading me these things. They're kind of like somebody that's in tune through the shuffling, and when they hand it out, as they deal out the cards, what they're doing is they're kind of giving you a feel of this is like an overlay of this is what I see. It doesn't tell you this is your future.
Yeah.
This is, this is set in stone. This is just like, this is one of the possibilities that we can find. And then it's up to you to either act on that information. I mean, it's not something you're locked into.
No, I mean, she was almost right on everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, she did great, and it's crazy, because I didn't go into a career in water, but water I feel like is my life. I was born and raised in Central Florida, but I go to the beach every chance I get. I love fishing.
Florida, baby. So
it's like, but no, I'm distant at all. I love them. But if we go to Casadega, when we go to Casadega, I'm not tarot cards. I want to do the real thing. I want to talk to somebody like Chris just had. When I was younger, I used to watch those shows. Like, if someone here have like red hair, and then it was me. Not saying they're fake, but you don't know. Until it happens to you, And then, like I told you, when my dad passed away, that's when it really started sinking in that paranormal is real, in that sense, and more about it, and especially with Tara. Me and Tara talk all the time. We have the same exact mindset on everything, whether it be ghosts, UFOs, government. We have the same exact mindset. So we're always sharing back and forth different things. So that's what grew my interest more.
So what do you think? I mean, so it's just like we're talking. So say your loved one, like you said, is trying to communicate with you. Where do you think that they reside? I said, so, I mean, the way I'm trying to think how to phrase this is like, okay, so say I pass away, but now, I'm knocking on doors, I'm doing stuff. I'm doing things like, inside jokes where, the banana on the counter suddenly falls.
Just don't pass away eating a banana.
You guys would understand it. Nobody else does. But it's one of those things. So you're thinking about it. It's just at that point you're like, where am I? I mean, am I in heaven doing this? Am I like in a purgatory?
God forbid you die, Craig. And also choking on a banana. I'll be like, that's Craig. Craig's choking you with the banana.
That's the way Craig is supposed to go.
Yeah.
No, when it comes to
we'll fill you guys in on that inside joke at some point. Yeah. So
we're not going to be talking. Me and Craig and Chris talked about it. We don't want to dive too deep into religion, but we're going to talk about, where do you go after you pass away? And I want to talk to Crispy, bring him in a couple weeks and talk about it. But that's the one thing that I always talked about when I was in youth group for 3 years. Most of my high school, I was in youth group. And that's why Crispy loved me being there, because I played devil's advocate. I would be like, all right, so where do you go after heaven? Where do you go after you die? He said heaven. But then it's like, I'm not dissing heaven. I'm not going to diss it. But everyone points to the sky. And I always look at the sky. I'm like, it's space. Is there an in-between? Or, it's just like there's so many questions that you'll never be answered, I don't think. And, like, when my dad passed away, he showed us signs for about a year or 2 years. But after that, where did he go? Is he still here? He's just being silent? Where's his family members? Like my girlfriend is always freaking out. She's like, I don't want to die alone. I don't want you to die without me, blah, blah, because what if I don't find you in the afterlife? And I said, you know what? I don't know. I don't know where we're going to go.
Wow, that's
who goes where? That's what she's always afraid about.
Well, I've had this conversation with both of you, throughout, the days. And I've been this way. Like I said, it's not a bash on religion. Like I said, we'll talk about these things. Yeah. But I've always said,
I'm not bashing. There isn't. It's just I want to know. There's so many open questions.
Like one of the questions I've always had is, and I talked to you, Austin, really recently about this. Was okay. So you have the little old church lady that volunteers every day, does everything. She is a saint. She passes away. You have the serial killer who has eaten people. He suddenly realizes, I was wrong. I take the Lord, Lord into my, as my Savior. Under that knowledge, both of them are going to the same place.
Yes.
And I'm like, there has to be, there has to be an accountability. And I'm like, so that's kind of like where, like for ghosts, I'm like, so when you have like the malevolent, the ones that are actually like people would say the haunting, the poltergeist.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, is that the people that were so evil on earth that there's not, there has to be some sort of punishment.
Mm-hmm.
And so that residual, that stuff goes, there's some atonement, that those are the people, like they're trapped here.
Yeah, forever. That's just your purgatory.
Yeah, because I'm like, because for me, I can't justify, in my head how just at the last minute, just you hit it, and then like right before you're executed, you repent, and all of a sudden you're going to the same place. I go, there has to be something, and that's why I'm wondering. It's like, do your loved ones, like you said, your dad, he has that last finish, like he's talking to somebody. He's like, God, give me a chance to say goodbye. He's done those things, said goodbye, and he's there now. And maybe that's why you haven't had anything. And, like one of the questions, Matt just brought up on here is, like the spirit boxes. And that's what I'm thinking. I mean, are we communicating with those that are trapped in, purgatory, whatever that is? I mean, is that what's moving the little dolls? Is that what's knocking over, throwing rocks? I mean, is that what we're dealing with?
So 2 things real quick. I listened to the radio and I forgot how it got brought up, but they're talking about the same thing you just said about how can this person, this little kid that passes away, go to heaven, and this person that can just say right before he goes, Jesus forgives me for my sins. So it's like, how can he just say, I'm sorry for what I did, and then he goes to heaven? But that's what I talked about. I talked about it with my mom for when I was younger. I was 15 when my dad passed away, so I'm still a boy trying to figure out life. And I'm sitting back. Even Crispy had a hard time telling me. And I said, how can my father, who raised me, who had, I think he was 60 plus years, you know what I mean, did nothing but take care of his family, busted his ass, and did everything he possibly could to take care of his family, and was so loved by everyone, get taken away from me. But then these people over here, these serial killers and everybody else, they get to live on, and then they die. I'm sorry, they don't die, but they die, and he goes to the same place my dad does. These people just killed a bunch of people. My dad did nothing but take care of people and his family and other random strangers. How come they go to the same exact place?
But it says
that's what bothers me.
People, then they explain that, we're all created equal. How? I mean, I'm not a pedophile. How am I created equal with a pedophile? Like, and something happens.
I mean, we're humanity. We're all created equal, but yeah,
it's a path you take.
Yeah, but, those people, like you said, the pedophiles, they took the evil choice, and I said I would not be, especially the ghosts. Do I think we'll go back to the Ouija board? You can open a portal and bring in a demon.
Yeah.
Ouija board.
But when it comes, it just if there, I'm not gonna say there's a God because I don't. Whatever it is, if there is a God and He knows when it's time for you to go, why would you take my dad right then? Why would you take? Why? Like I think Craig, you said it. Why wouldn't you? Or it was on the radio. Why wouldn't you stop that pedophile from doing what he's about to do? Why wouldn't you? Like you said, blow that tire of that guy about to do what he's about to do instead of that poor kid, or this person's about to get murdered. You could have stopped that, but why didn't you? And then why'd you take this poor old lady? Why'd you take my father? Why are you taking infants?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's what bothers me.
And that's where I said is it, kind of like with the ghosts. Yeah, I said, we'll get on this topic, like I said, especially in a future episode with religion. I'm just, I'm wondering, like you said, when, because you always see, like if you watch Ghost Adventures, if you watch, just any of the haunted paranormal shows, you'll see ones like, they'll record like the voice of a little kid.
Yeah.
And then so, I'm wondering myself, it's just, in that kind of scenario. So does that mean that the little kid is trapped in, like a purgatory?
Exactly. What
isn't allowed to go on to heaven?
Do?
Yeah. And that's, and I'm, so I'm, and that's kind of where like your teaser thing, I'm wondering is like, because a lot of times, like it's said, like a demonic presence, do they, does that, open a gateway? Because, you're willing to, like, oh my God, it's a little kid, here, talk to me, come closer, Are they using that ability to mimic as a way of attaching to you? It's like, if you watch Ghost Adventures, all the time, I'm opposed to that. Like, I'm opposed to the confrontational thing. I don't like the just outright,
hey,
come,
where you at?
Take me, yelling, bring her.
That's what I never watched those shows, man.
Yeah, I think you're inviting, because he's
negativity.
Yeah, Zach Bagans has claimed that he's been possessed several times. Well, it's because
you're pissing him off.
You're pissing him off. These cults come.
You're going into their area and you're pissing them off, man.
Yeah, you want this? You come and take me. You come use. I'm like, you just opened yourself up. I mean, you might as well just say, hey, welcome. Welcome sign.
That goes to the same thing we were talking about with the crystals, man. Because you're forcing yourself into the haunting. With the crystals, are the same way. You have to find the right one to come to you. If that ghost doesn't want to come to you, there's a reason. Don't try to push it because then you're screwed. It's crazy. I don't know. I just forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, yeah, no, it's it's one of those things. It's just like one of the questions about limestone and stuff. That's some of those areas. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like Casadega has a limestone deposit or something around below, because that's that seems to be like a focal, like the vortex, where it seems to have concentration of that that
Florida is lime rock, obviously all around, but I think more towards Casadega.
Lime rock sinks and causes a sinkhole.
Yep.
That and like where I'm at right now in Howling the Hills, and where I used to live near Coleman. That's like there's lime rock quarries out there, man. And somewhere, I think it's North Gainesville, there's a haunted area that's been vacated. It's been proven to be haunted for 300 something acres, and it's just a haunted town. It's just crazy like that.
Oh yeah,
I want to go. I want to visit, but it's hard because I'm not putting down the people that do it. Like I know there's ghost tours in Orlando and ghost tours everywhere, but I want to find a real. I want to find a real one. But if I go and nothing happens, it wasn't my time. But it's like I want to experience some. I'm not going to say, "Hey, come get me," angry ghost. But I want to experience what everyone else is apparently experiencing. I'm not going to go piss you off, but show me a sign you're there.
I don't think you're ready, Austin. You're going to be screaming, "Oh my God!"
No, it was funny because, sorry if you guys missed our sports podcast Sunday. I was in the middle of moving. It was a big mess, but her sister was here Monday, I think. Or no, it was Sunday morning. She was here getting our internet set up, and she was unloading boxes, and all of a sudden, no one else is in the house, and she heard a door slam. And I'm like, we got a haunted house. Let's go. Like, yes, it's perfect.
Wow. That's cool.
Are you gonna sage the new house?
I probably should. I haven't had any issues, Like I was telling Craig, and I'm gonna say the story, and hopefully my mom can prove me wrong. I'm pretty sure it was me, but with kids and animals, they can sense ghosts, and there's been several times with all my kids that when they were younger that I would hold them and they'd be all happy, and then they would look straight behind me, and I'm calm. I'm like, I'm by myself. And I'm thinking, I look behind me, nothing there. But my daughter and both my sons were always smiling, and they would stop and just stare and then just smile and just have a good time. I'm like, maybe they're just being babies, or maybe there's somebody behind me, And especially with my Aunt Lynn passing away recently, my daughter, I feel like there's a little bit of part of her in my daughter, because she is just like her. But I think there are several times my father or other family members have visited me with my kids, because there's signs all the time with the dogs. We have a blind dog, and I literally running back and forth trying to get set up. I'm running past her, stomping past her, never woke her up. But there's times where she'll just start barking for no reason. And she'll start freaking out. And then I'm thinking, all right, well, something's here. You know what I mean? Like, my girlfriend's like, hey, be quiet. I'm like, there's something here. And they're like, and even in our old house in the woods, the dogs would hear the bears outside our porch before we even heard them. And I was like, that's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they can hear it in Ocala or Ocklawaha back in the day. But they would hear it. And then by the time we found out they were there, they were already on our porch. And I was like, damn, like, they're good. But Nancy, my mom, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember her telling a story when I was a kid. My Aunt Lynn had 3 sons, and one of them committed suicide, unfortunately. But I think I went to a picture of him when I was younger and pointed to him, and I said, Mommy, who's this? And she said it was, I'm sorry, I forgot his name. And she said, it's blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, okay. And she's like, why? I said, he's standing right there in my living room.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm like, he's right there. Mom's like, that's not possible. I'm like, I'm a kid. I'm like, he's right there. And I'm assuming I saw him when I was younger because he was in the house. But I think that might be wrong. I think maybe my uncle or my cousin. But there's stories like that. And
now, so kind of like a play off that. So why do you think that we lose that ability?
because
To talk to them?
Well, it's just like, you think like a kid. I mean, it's just, like a kid and animals see it. Obviously animals, they have the different, especially, there's a lot of belief like cats have, they have a foot in the other world. But there's, like for us, what happens, like you said, your kids just suddenly, they're looking up at something and you can't figure out why does that go away? I mean, do we just,
I can't tell you why, but I mean, me and Chris are similar, and we're all in different age groups. Obviously, there's probably 10 years difference in between me and Craig. It's like 20 years probably, and Chris.
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
But
there thanks a lot being the oldest.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot who I was talking to, but the innocence goes away, and I don't know why. I tell you this because when I was a kid, I used to watch the news all the time about I don't know if it's because the world is changing or because of social media nowadays, but I've never seen this much drama with the presidency, with crimes and stuff like that. And as an adult, I'm like, I don't remember ever seeing this as a kid. Was it because I was blocking it out of my view and I just wanted to be innocent as a kid? Or why? I see it every day. It's different.
I don't think we paid that much attention. I mean, now this daily world affects us. But I wish I could go back to being a kid where you didn't pay attention to much. But the news, I mean, I think it's been about the same. I mean, I don't know. I just know.
It's just weird, man. It seems maybe it's like because you're parents. Obviously, we're all parents here, and it's just I think they protect you because they don't want you seeing the bad in the world. And when you get older, obviously you have to do it. You pay your own bills. You do all this stuff now. So it's like the innocence goes away. But why does it go away? And it's unfair, And but it's not unfair, because you still have people that are medians that have the ability, which I'm so glad there is. But it's weird.
So especially like with the mediums, so maybe there's a possibility of regaining, because some people obviously can tap back into it.
Yeah. Well, it comes to, you just gotta be relaxed. Like if you're stressing out, like me and her mom were talking about today, you have to be relaxed and you have to be in the moment. You can't be. I don't know, I'm tired, man. but like, Tara, I didn't go through yet. Me and Tara are actually going to go see the movie Midway, Battle Midway, obviously. And we're going to go see her new store, Extra Space Storage. It's pretty cool. She's the manager of that. So we're going to see that. We're going to see the movie. But I told her, I said, I want to go to a crystal shop. So she's going to take me to her stop she goes to, and we're going to go, go in there and just explore. So I'm really excited.
Crystal shop, Craig? When are you going to the crystal shop, Austin?
We haven't decided a date yet. The movie comes out in November, so maybe probably the Saturday before Thanksgiving. We'll probably get together and go out there.
Podcast trip.
It's in Orlando, so we're gonna go down there and check it out because I'm excited for the Stones.
Tara, we just intruded real quick.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah,
but I'm going to get some stones. I'm going to get some stones this weekend. I got a special surprise for you and Craig.
Awesome.
Yeah, I see what Tara. Tara says we lose our innocence in our minds because we're more conform to society. Why? Why do we have to do that? You know what I mean? There's times where I think about it, and if I didn't have my kids, I ask anybody. If I didn't meet my girlfriend, I was gonna go finish mechanic school, go get a houseboat in Clearwater, and just ride it out and be a single man living on the water because it's simple. I love my kids to death. I'm so glad I have them, but every day the world gets worse. I don't want my kids growing up into this stuff, and it really bothers me because of what happened or what's all this in the world, man.
That's what we think. That's what we kind of think similar. You're a free spirit individual like me. You all know what I want to do. I want to get on my motorcycle and ride the world and don't bother with nobody. So, I mean, you want to be on a houseboat. I want to be on my motorcycle. So you live free. I mean, you don't have nothing to worry about. I mean, I'm happy I have kids and a house. But you tell me I'd go from city to city on a motorcycle and live life.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all grateful for our kids here, but...
Was that a ghost? Awesome. Let's talk about the house being haunted.
I'll be right back. I'm going to see what the hell's going on.
I know. That's why I said it's haunted. No, I just put in the comments for everybody. There's a YouTube channel. It's a YouTuber called Huff Paranormal. Look at this. I said that Huff Paranormal. I would love everybody, especially that's watching, comments. Go check him out. It is actually pretty cool. You know, when we're talking about ghosts and ghost communication, he's built a box where, you know, I can't explain it. I mean, I believe in it completely, but he's having, like we are right now, one-on-one conversations with the other side.
That's awesome.
He's actually
That's
talking
really
to
interesting.
people. He says, you know, come to the light, talk to the light, and there's voices saying, I see it. I see the light. And he's actually talking to different, you know, and like I said, and it's, you know, and I'm, you know, and it's one of those things that you know, and I wonder, you know, it makes me think about the other side. Is like, especially like what he's talking about, for those people to see the light. I mean, is it dark? I mean, is, by the way, when you watch this and you'll see, and just like I'm thinking, it's like, so is it like trying to find your way in a pitch black environment? You know that there's a destination you're supposed to get to. So what if when we die, there's no guide map? We're just there and we're trying to find our way to there, and we need something to guide us. And maybe that's why our loved ones are still here, still communicating, is because they still haven't found the way to the exit yet. Some people, it takes a long time. You know, maybe that's where, like little kids, that's why they're still here, is maybe they're having a harder time finding a way out. Like I said, I don't know. But like I said, go watch a few of his videos, and that's Huff Paranormal. I know, like I said, myself watching, I'm a believer, and it's really, you know, it's something it's pretty amazing to hear this stuff, and just to think that, you know, in a way, it kind of gives you a reassuring feeling that our loved ones, when they pass away, aren't gone, just gone. I mean, I hate even the thought of that, you know, like people that don't believe there's anything after this, because then it's like, wow, you're gone.
It's crazy. It's like, I'm not gonna, obviously, it's like I want to know the other side, but at the same time, it's like it's a scary thought, but I hope it doesn't happen to anybody we love anytime soon.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, man. It's such an open topic that there's so many. That's why I hate the way I am when it comes to this stuff, because I want the answers answered, but you'll never know. And it's fun to think about what it.
So why don't we'll steer you away from that part, and just, so what about the evil side of it? I mean, are you guys a believer in the demonic, that there's actually, you know, there are a demon presence that is actually, you know, with the intent of harming?
Dude, I don't know. I'm like what you said before. The pedophiles and murderers, they could be the evil ones because they're stuck here and they want to, you know, torment. But I just don't know, honestly.
Yeah, because
you don't have you only hear about the bad in. Well, I'm not gonna say that because I have only heard bad about in the movies. But I have a book from, man, I forgot her name. The Haunting.
You read books?
I'm trying to. I read this as a kid.
You've had it since you were a kid. That means that you've had it a long time and you read it. You're not.
The Conjuring. The Conjuring. You know, what's her name? She came on the Real Radio and she talked about it like a couple of years ago, and I bought her book recently. So I'm not 100% sure if it's true. The Conjuring, the movie, she said it's only 2% truth because she said it was so scary that they had to change things for the movies, whatever. But then I hear that she's also a story writer. So from what they said, it really happened. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I wasn't there. So, but why? Who did I talk to? I was like, why? What did they do to deserve this haunting? You know, they bought this house because it was a good deal. Why did they get haunted? What did these people do? So it's like,
and that's kind of like my thing. You know, Chris mocks me for this, but you know, it's like the Ouija board. You know, I look at it. You know, I'm a firm believer that there is both. You know, I believe in demons. I believe in angels. I believe that they're there. Like I said, for me, you know, in my house, Ouija boards are not allowed in this house. I do not allow anything that's a portal.
We'll sneak one in there.
Craig, I got 6 candles and a Ouija board, and we're gonna light it and see what happens. But
so when you suddenly, I suddenly see a vortex swirling behind you. Things go flying.
He's pushing you. You're gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like,
bye. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Two Beards podcast. It's going to turn into the Two Beards podcast.
Yeah, because I honestly believe that it's not just bad humans. I mean, I honestly believe that you can conjure demonic forces and stuff. And I think on some of those things, like the conjuring, I think that's actually happened. I think there is, there's one something like here. Hold on a second. I'll bring the book over here and I'll show you.
Hey, Chris, while Craig's not here, let's hop his fence, hop the wall, and we'll do it in his backyard. He won't know. All right? We'll do that.
Yeah.
If you guys,
he just looks outside. There's a vortex going on.
If you guys can see this one, it's a book called the Necronomicon. This is one where it actually is a book of spells and incantations that you can actually do to summon different spirits.
You don't want a damn Ouija board in your house, but you have a book of spells.
I read. I just don't practice it.
Your son is going to get a hold of that and start reading it.
I actually got a spell dictionary. Got a spell dictionary. But back to what I was saying about spirits and stuff. There's an article that you can go find online, Austin. This lady, she bought a piece of estate jewelry, and the lady was really sick that sold the estate jewelry.
Oh, yeah.
And the new lady who got it inherited that bad negative energy, and she was sick. She couldn't get out of bed for 2 or 3 weeks. So she reached out to a psychic healer, psychic medium, and they said, hey, blah, blah, blah. What has changed in your life? Have you bought anything new? Da, da, da. She's like, yeah, I bought this emerald ruby ring from an estate sale. The lady was like, you've got to sage it. You've got to clean it. It's got negative energy behind it. And the article was that she researched it, and the lady was sick who sold it. And I guess she inherited it, the sickness that was tied to that jewelry that lady wore all the time. I know Craig is a big advocate. Craig is a big advocate on not buying sympathy jewelry. See me, I don't worry about it. I'll sage it, selenite it, turmeric it. I mean, I'll clean it up. But Craig will not buy nobody used jewelry.
No, because like I say, like right here, this right here is a bond between me and my wife. There is emotional, spiritual, energy that's tied into this ring. I told him, I go, just buying that ring and just giving it to somebody else. I go, if there's something negative, attached to that, you're passing that on.
Craig, if I buy your ring, I'll melt it down.
Well, that's
so. Craig, is that the original ring from when you got married?
Mm-hmm.
So that ring is almost over 20 years old.
Yep.
Damn.
Yes,
so you call actually, like when you light a unity candle, you wouldn't know about this yet, Austin. Hopefully one day we'll be a part of your wedding. But you light a unity candle, and actually you're burning a candle and you're lighting another candle. That's signifying unity because they're white candles. So there's energy into that candles when you light the candle for the unity candle.
Mm-hmm. We still have those candles.
Me too. I have the knife too.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like there's a actual connection. And one of the comments, just to get back to it real quick, is this spirit box. I don't believe is a portal, just because what it's doing is you're not opening up access for anybody into there. It's more like a radio. You're hearing communication, but what you're not doing, like for me, like going for that thing, what like the Ouija board is, you're creating the broadcast. What you're doing is you're not just tapping into something that's there. You're actually opening up yourself. You're opening up this space. You're saying, come in here. I want you to use me, move these pieces, use this stuff. Whereas like the spirit box, it's just like you turn on your car and flip it on the radio.
It's
already going on. You're just tapping into that communication. You're not
a smaller version of Stranger Things.
Yeah. That's why I think like the Ouija board would be like that. It's just like you're trying to open this portal, to bring in, this communication. Whereas the other way, like I said, and if people disagree, that's, I'm open. I'd love that discussion, like why, they think that it's the same thing. Cause but I feel like one, you're tapping into a communication stream, just like plugging in a speaker. Or the other one is you're actually physically inviting somebody to use you as the vessel to come forward. And I feel like I said, you're opening up a portal. And I think people that do, like I said, use books like this to do this, like just the book itself inherently, there's nothing wrong with this. I mean, it's pieces of paper with words, but it's when you actually speak them, when you actually hold the rituals, that's when I think, like, if you were to, if we were to go through the whole thing with candles, with the ritual, I could, you could potentially open yourself up to some serious messed up stuff by doing this.
We could try that.
I'm not afraid of this book. This book isn't going to suddenly cause the house to start, tearing itself apart.
It will when you're selling it.
When we use it, yeah, But that's why I said it's one of those things. It's always, the cult has always been a fascination for me. It's just, like I said, I don't ever plan on practicing. I don't plan on throwing on the robes, putting a pentagram, a reverse pentagram down there with candles and throwing in the incantations. I don't plan on.
What about the trip that we were planning to Salem, Massachusetts?
That would be fun. That actually would.
But if we do end up one day reading that book, I'm not reading it because I mumble enough to where I may say the wrong word and I opened up a demon. I'm not doing it.
Oh yeah, no, it's kind of, it'd be like that joke, where you see those people that put the Ouija board on their floor and they said, that looks amazing until Roomba. Yeah, I'm not afraid of books. I'm not afraid of Ouija boards. I mean, like I said, I'm not afraid of them. I do not want them used in my house.
Before we end the show too, Nancy and Tara, my mom and sister, they know about it, but other people that haven't known about it, my dad passed away a couple days after. My uncle came up from Tampa, and he was outside having a cigarette, and we were all having some issues. Obviously, we just lost our loved one. My mom lost her husband of 24 years. Me and my sister lost our father. So we're all having our issues. And at the time, it sounds old, but at the time, T-Mobile, you couldn't call down to Tampa. It was considered international. It used a home phone. But also, my uncle was outside having a cigarette. He came in with the whitest face, and he said, "Why is Kevin calling me?" And it freaked all of us out. He said, my mom goes, "It's not possible." He goes, and it showed it. It said Kevin's cell. So my mom went straight to the bedroom, pulled out the phone. The battery was out. T-Mobile service was cut. We called the phone. The phone said it's no longer in service.
Wow.
Right? That's not just it. He goes back outside to finish his cigarette. Then he gets a call from home cell. Or he said it was like Nancy Burke or Kevin Burke or something. It said home phone. He comes back and goes, "All right, who the F is messing with me?" We're like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Now your home phone is calling me." We went to both of the phones in the living room and our bedroom. Both of them were on the hook, not even ringing. And it showed right there that we were calling him. And he said, I don't know what's going on. So that was my dad trying to communicate with us somehow. And of course, later on, a couple weeks later, the ornament issue. Me and my mom were across the house, or the same exact ornament drop. And the same, it was just crazy. And to this day, it still amazes me that we heard the same exact sound. But also it's the fact that he, so I didn't want to bring it up. I don't want my mom upset, but we were all fighting. All right. We lost our family member. So my sister went to go storm out the house. Right. But the door was literally locked. I just told you my uncle was outside. Right. But the deadbolt was on and the other bolt was locked. And when my sister unlocked it, she could not move that door. There was a force holding it, and my uncle couldn't open the door either. And that was just, I think my dad saying, "You guys need to stop fighting, and you need to sit down and relax." Because after that is when we all calmed down and started thinking about Dad. But I understand the door was locked, she couldn't get it open. But she put her whole weight on it, and my uncle couldn't even open it from the outside. And he was outside. Who would deadbolt the door, And
was that the last time you had communication? Like some sort of interaction with, potentially like the spirit of your dad?
Because, he passed away November 30th, which was a Tuesday. And this was, I think this happened, like Wednesday or Thursday. And then we had his ceremony, celebration of life Friday. So this is like a couple days after. And then now it's obviously Christmas, and this was when me and my mom had the same issue, or not issue. We had the same sound. So, and that's what pushed me more towards believing in this kind of stuff was not only the phone calls, but the sound. When me and my mom met in the living room and said, "Did you hear that?" And just, when we same thing, vice versa. It was, I heard this, this, and this. I heard the same exact thing, and it was like we're across the house. She's in the laundry room. I'm in my bedroom. How are we going to hear the same sound and the same decibels? It's just, It was unreal,
Well, that's, like for me, one of the things.
Oh, yeah. My mom said the same thing. There was a random glass breaking. We searched the entire house. Nothing.
Wow.
Random glass breaking. You know what I mean? It's just.
So let me pry into that, so especially since Nancy and Tara are listening too. Now, in your guys' family history, did anything happen that involved breaking glass?
From what my mom told me, he knocked over. Mom, if you can chime into this, I think my mom said he knocked over the Christmas tree when he was a kid. As far as I know.
Now, would those have been glass ornaments at that time?
Yeah.
I mean, because that would be the thing is, because that's one of the things it's common, reports of like, whether you're on a Civil War battlefield, whether you'll smell gunpowder, you'll hear gunshots, you'll hear, there'll be a residual sound. So I'm wondering if it was like the spirit of your dad there, I wonder if this was something like he, that was. And that's where I said if it was, like the ornaments seemed to be like a thing that you guys really remember about him. So I wonder if that caught, like the focusing on him caused, that glass breaking sound is like a residual sound.
I'm sorry, I'm freaking out right now, man. I feel like something. This isn't a game. I feel like something is actually here. There's a weird feeling in my body right now, so I'm a little creeped out right now. But that's what my dad was a smart man. So by him calling my uncle, he knew that the cell phones can't call Tampa, and he knew that his phone was off. And so I think that's the way he was getting our attention. And then the whole thing with the door. He must have been in the house that day to do that because he saw us fighting. He saw Tara trying to storm out the door, and the door would not move. So he had to have been in that house seeing that we were having issues, and he wanted us to resolve it before something, anything happened.
Matt just, he posted that thing about when his grandma passed. And that's what I mean. Like, the Civil War battlefield where you smell, you can still smell gunpowder. You can still hear sounds. It's like, your grandma passing away, she always wore the same perfume. A lot of people would say, they're there and they're like, do you smell that? And it's just, it would be something that, a person like me, if I'm in the house, I'd just be like, I don't notice anything, but everybody else would be like, that's grandma's perfume.
That happened a lot. Grandma. I think my mom had that. My dad used to wear Brut cologne. I loved it. So he wore Brut. And there'd be several times that we would smell Brut. And I'd be like, what? Do you guys smell that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it for the longest time, I'm not going to lie, my uncles, they don't watch it. This one probably. But my dad was, I might get it wrong, he had an older brother, aunt, sister, older brother, him, and then younger brother. And my oldest uncle, his oldest brother, looks exactly like him. The youngest brother looks exactly like my dad. So when I see them, it's especially right after he passed away, it was really hard to speak with them because he looks exactly like my dad. So seeing it was hard. And I was going to talk about, so my dad passed away in 2010, right?
What's going on, real quick, what's going on over there, man?
Me?
You keep freaking out. You keep looking over your left shoulder.
There's something going on, man. I'm freaking out.
I know. That's why I'm like.
So
anyway, continue on.
So it's okay. So it's been 10 years since my dad passed away. How long? Say you bought a shirt. You know what I'm saying? After 10 years, don't you think the smell should go away of that shirt? Because not only it went from, let's see here, I moved right before I graduated, so that's one house, completely different smell. And then I moved to 2 to 3 different houses before where I am now. That scent of my dad or the smell should have gone away by now. So when I was taking away my dad's old jackets, with his old car mechanic jacket, his old Mustang jacket, I was putting him in the storage to move. It smelled just like him. I had to sit down for a second, like, how does this still smell like him? You know what I mean? This is absolutely insane. That I could still smell the old, greasy smell when we used to work on the cars, or I could just smell him. It was crazy to have that.
And that's Matt just put it. It's like it wasn't perfume. It was actually, a car mechanic's shop that she worked in. Mm-hmm. So it's like so apparently grease and oil inside.
My dad has his jacket. Cool. It still smells like it. No matter where I go, it'll still smell like car mechanic. It smells just like him.
I said I don't know if Chris has got one, but like for me, when I was young, I stayed over at a friend's house. The address, that should be the first warning. The address was 666.
666?
Yeah. So anybody that's, so you stay there. We're downstairs playing Mario Brothers, and it was the first Mario Brothers game. We're playing it. It's time to go to bed. We turn it off. TV's off. We go to bed. I wake up in the middle of the night. Game machine's on. TV's on. Mario's playing.
By itself?
By itself. And we're talking, this is back in the 80s. This isn't, so, you don't have
back in the 80s.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of agree with Tara. I'm half leaning to the lack of sleep tweaker thing, like he's starting to hallucinate.
Hey, I'm running off of 6 hours of sleep in 72 hours.
Exactly. Pretty soon, little
I'm telling you, man,
it's pterodactyl. You're running for your life.
No, I'm not tweaking. The more I freak out, the worse it's gonna get. But like, I'm serious, dude. Like, when I first got into this room, it was hot, and just sitting here talking about it, I'm getting cold shivers every couple seconds. It's really weird.
Cold. Oh wow.
That's why I keep freaking out. And it's not just cold shivers. I feel like something is around me. That's why I keep looking around for anything. It's weird.
Here's what I'm gonna do. And like I said, I actually, because of how big I am, I actually have some equipment for ghost hunting. I actually have, audio recorders. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring one to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I want you to take it home, and I want you to do something like this. If you start feeling that, I want you to turn that tape recorder on.
Yeah.
And I want you to play it because, if anybody believes in EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon.
Voice phenomenon.
Yes, because what I think could be happening right now is, like I said, maybe it is your dad. Maybe it's somebody trying to communicate. So a lot of times, like while we're talking, you might hear just off, a faint, some faint, question, some faint statement, something that, you can't audibly hear right now, but it's on there.
There's got to be.
It's not us.
Because the blind hunting dog, the ghost hunter dog, was sitting next to me, and she freaked out and ran away. So I think there might be something here. If I don't see you guys tomorrow, you know what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, like you said, I'm a big believer. I love it, especially because anybody that's watched any type of show, the feeling of, like all of a sudden it's just like warm, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God,
Jesus
how cold
Christ.
it is.
I need to go to bed.
Yeah. Like I said, if you're feeling yeah. See, I told you a little bug's going to come there and it's going to freak him out.
Hey, man, that bug was creepy. I've never seen that spider before. No, but I see Tara. It didn't pop up yet, but it said, I keep one of Dad's work shirts in a Ziploc. I don't know why, because like I just told you, I still smell it. And it's been in the 3 to 4 different houses after 10 years. It's like it won't go away, which is a good thing. And that's what, when it was funny because when my dad passed away, me and my brother and my sister, we all sat down, and it's weird because we all have different parts of my dad. When it came down to distributing everything, my brother was Star Wars, everything Star Wars. My Tara got Star Trek, and then I got everything that had to do with war, anything. So and then when it came to shirts, they didn't really. Tara took a couple of work shirts. I took all the jackets because I liked them, but I didn't put them anywhere. They've been sitting in my closet, and they still smell like my dad. You would think that it would go away, but they don't.
That's cool.
It's awesome. I don't need them. I can, I can't fit in one of them. I don't need to go walking around in a damn Ford Mustang Shelby jacket, but it's literally a thick. It's a winter jacket. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, it's like I said, it's Terrace. It's like, we may need to do a cleansing on that house too. You never know. But like I said, I definitely I'm going to get that recorder to you, and I want you to take it there, and I want you just for periodically, just whenever you're feeling that sensation, I want you to turn it on, and I want you to just ask some questions.
That's the weird thing, though. You know what I mean? It's like,
I mean, right now, I just, it doesn't have to be something specific, but just like, ask something like, "Are you here?"
yeah,
What are you trying to tell me? Just ask some, it's just some not complicated questions, but just ask something and then play it back, listen to it carefully. I mean, there's a good chance, like I said, you may actually get a response. It may creep the hell out of you, because like I said, it may not be something that you're wanting to hear.
I got some food sitting right here, and I'm not going to tell them to push that because if they threw food across this room, I'd be really mad.
Yeah.
Because this is not my room. You start throwing food across the house, we're going to start fighting. I don't give a damn who you are. But
so
maybe because I'm tired, but I've been tired all day. And this is the first time that I'm sitting here and I can get cold shivers, but this is the first time that I feel weird. And I don't feel weird often. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, so we'll bring this up again because I'm sure we're gonna when we start talking, we're gonna talk about something like demonic.
This is just the opening, man. When it comes to Wednesday episodes, we still got to talk about Chupacabra, all that stuff. We got all that. We can take ghosts and UFOs into several different episodes. So,
yep.
I mean, but this was a good start when it came to that. Explaining our stories and stuff. But, I 100% believer in ghosts. I mean,
I am.
There's no. Again, it's the same thing with UFOs, Chupacabra. You believe what you want, but until you have that feeling, actually, which was funny because her little brother, 13 or 14, I can't remember. He knows of the podcast, and he said, "Hey, have you ever stayed at Mama's house, which is her grandma? And have you stayed there before?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I have. I've been with your sister for 6 years. I've been to your grandma's house." Mm-hmm. And he said, "Have you ever had bad, horrifying dreams?" I sat back for a second and I said, "Dude, to be honest with you, I think I've had 2 really horrific dreams." And he said, "Everybody has had it at that house. He's had it. My girlfriend's had it. I woke up in a panic one time and I said, that's weird." So it's maybe it's just, it happens, but maybe something's there. Why does everybody have 1 or 2 really horrific dreams that freaks you out to wake you up? I don't know. That's interests me when he said that, So I was like,
Matt says, turn off the lights and provoke it and see if you get a response.
I'm by myself, man. I will do it live, but I'm not doing it myself.
Turn the lights off. I want you to show yourself right now and throw this food. Throw this food right now.
The food, man. It's not food. I'm hungry still. My big 5 scary dogs just run around being scared. They won't do anything.
I know. Well, gentlemen, like I said, get this thing wrapped up. But it's like I said, ghosts, firm believer. Like I said, it's so like I said, we'll have follow-ups on this on different topics, like I said, in the future, because this, Sundays we're gonna, when college football is more, gets over, since that's our passion. Sundays are even gonna kind of morph into mini Wednesdays, to where we're talking about just crazy stories, just weird, wacky things. We might even touch on little small topics, but. As always, this podcast is brought to you by Brat's Beard Care.
Oh, yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah.
Man. Shout out.
I just used that beard soap. I said it got it nice and clean. I said the beard oil. I said my wife absolutely loves that key lime blend.
I'll tell you this. Look at these 2 beards, these 2 right here, and look at mine. Mine has not used Brat's Beard Care oil, comb, or soap in the past 3 days, and you see how bad it is. I have to find it, or I'm screwed. I'm gonna have to see Kelly on Saturday, man, because I need more soap. Unless I find it, I want more soap, or I need a comb, man, because
pick me up.
You see, just in a couple days,
Saturday.
It's bad, man. It's getting bad. So I'm so glad I found it.
If you can't find it, just like Chris said, pick up a bottle. But you go down to he's always at the Winter Garden Farmers Market.
Yep,
you see his booth there. Kelly Brat's Beard Care. Get it? I mean, because I said that special someone in your life does not like making out with a Brillo pad, steel wool.
Brillo.
They want to have a soft, nice beard that smells good.
Yep. I mean, broadspiritcare.com, Instagram. I think his brother goes to Orlando Farmers Market a lot. So he just got back from where would he go? Missouri. So he's got, I think he may, don't quote me on it. He might still have some apple butter limited edition oil. So
nice.
But yeah, man, he's got everything. So I'm excited. And he's got beard balm too. I got to buy some beard balm because I need everything.
Yeah, because every now and then I think I might need some because every now and then I got those crazy ones that can't get.
Yeah.
Nanny Cakes by Nancy Burke. Yep, awesome cupcakes. I've had a couple of different treats that she's made. I haven't actually physically had a cake yet.
Ooh.
I've had cupcakes. So if those cupcakes, the way those are, if those cakes taste anything like those cupcakes, wow. I mean, Nanny Cakes by Nancy Burke. You need to go try those out. Those are fantastic.
And the best part about Nanny Cakes is she delivers.
Yep. Nancy B. Burke on Instagram, Nanny Cakes Nancy Burke on Facebook. Her number is 407-923-2898. So, and also we're working on business cards right now, but she told me if you call her and let her know that you heard her business from our podcast, she'll give you 15% off your order. So make sure you say Three Beards Podcast.
I forgot about that. Yeah, Kelly brought. Yeah, same thing. It's like mention the Three Beards Podcast, and you're going to get 20% off your order with that as well. That spider cake was pretty awesome.
She does some amazing things, man. It's like it's amazing what she can do.
So please help us out with this, everybody.
Wedding season.
This, share this.
Instagram.
Send it out. I know. Visit us at, threebeardspodcast.com. Visit, like I said, just leave comments. As always, I said, if you're interested in some merchandise, we're in the process of trying to find a way to make some graphic tees. We got great ideas for shirts. Yeah. None of us are artistic enough to make the shirt.
No.
We gotta find somebody that can. Yeah.
But no, I don't think we have any viewers on this one, but like with your dad, if you guys have sponsors that you want to get some discounts from, let us know. We'll try to contact them. Like if with your dad in Boise, Idaho, you got a sponsor, we'll try to contact them and give you some deals and stuff, man. Shout out and just send us information. We'll get some awesome sponsors on here too, man.
Thanks for watching. Like I said, don't forget to like and share it. And as always, gentlemen,
good night.
If I don't see you Sunday, I was possessed.
That's right.